These presentations will work a comprehensive bookkeeping problem both within Excel as well as within QuickBooks. Excel having the advantages of being able to see all the components and how all those components fit together to make the end product, that end product, the financial statements. QuickBooks having the advantage of being able to use forms, simple data input, and an automated system in order to convert that simple data input into the end product, the financial statements. We will work each component of the problem in Excel first and then work that same information in QuickBooks. Hello, in this presentation we will enter customer jobs into our bookkeeping problem in Excel, seeing how this same information might be input into accounting software such as QuickBooks. If you would like more information about the QuickBooks Pro, take a look at our comprehensive course in the link below. We're first going to take a quick look at how this information could be used in accounting software, then jump over to Excel and see how it could be put into the Excel software. So here's what we have. We're going to create a job for Jones Guitar. Jones Guitar is a customer, and we're going to create a job for that customer. In essence, we're going to the customer list here, and we would like to have a separate job, which is a subcategory of the customer. There could be multiple reasons why we might have this, and it could be fairly sophisticated in the tracking of jobs depending on the use that we are having for that tracking. We're going to use it to show that the Jones Guitars shows how much is due, but we might want to track specific costs to a specific job. For example, if we were doing service on a particular guitar, or if we're doing a kind of project that we want to set up and make sure that we apply all of those costs to a particular project. If we're setting up a certain engagement that we want to set up and want to have all the equipment set up and we want to put on all the maintenance and plan everything for it, we might want to track not just by the customer but also by that particular job and be able to track that information and the costs that are accumulating to that particular job. Job costs are often used with service companies, so if we're doing bookkeeping companies and or accounting firms or law firms often need to apply to specific jobs that they are working on, and they might want to break out by jobs to specific clients. Construction companies often have a similar type of breakout, and the sophistication of how we use these jobs will differ. We're just going to show how to set these up right now. So we have this set up. In essence, we're saying that this is Jones Guitar has this separate job that will be set up for Jones Guitar. And all we're really doing is saying we want a subcategory for Jones and just applying the job number. And when we apply the costs, then we'll apply them, or the bills that we are accumulating for the services we're using, we'll apply them to the job, which will then be a subcategory of the customer. So we'll do the same thing for Sam Guitar, and we're just going to set up that separate job that we can apply costs to. And it's just basically going to be an account number. In Excel, we'll see how we can look at that within Excel. Over here in Excel, we're going to basically look at these jobs and note that what we're really saying is we're trying to track the accounts receivable. We track the accounts receivable in two ways. One is that we have the general ledger as we track all accounts. That's going to be here, but it is only in order by date of transaction. And typically we want more information when tracking the accounts receivable. We want to know that information in terms of who owes us the money. That's the point of the subsidiary ledger that we have been working out, and it's going to come out to the same number, but it will be by who owes us money. Now we might want to break that down more detail to our particular job. And this is especially useful if we're tracking multiple things to a job. So if we're doing a bookkeeping company, a CPA firm, or a law firm, and we need to track different people's work to a particular job in order to bill that job's time based on the work done, that's more of a job cost system. Construction companies often use a fairly sophisticated job cost system as well. We'll take a bigger look at that later on when we take a look at just a job cost system problem. But in essence, what we're doing, we're going to scroll over to the subsidiary ledger and see how we could set that up. And scrolling over to the subsidiary ledger for the accounts receivable. Here we have the subsidiary. It's going to be broken out. It's the same total down here in the accounts receivable if we add up the total for all the subsidiary accounts. However, it's broken out by customer. What we're doing is we're saying Jones, we have Jones here, and we want to break out a separate job for Jones and track that job separately. and therefore we can take another account here and basically track the job. So this is going to be a subcategory job 3005 that's going to be applied to Jones when we track this information. And within this job, then we can apply certain things that are billed to that job. If it's a service company, we're typically just going to bill the time, possibly of different employees, possibly having different rates to this particular job. So we'll just set this up and we'll track this separately. If we're talking about a construction company, we may have to track different units like direct labor, materials, and overhead to particular jobs. And later on, we'll put together a worksheet that gets into the job cost system for a construction or manufacturing type of company. But right now, we're just looking at breaking out what the jobs look like and breaking out the jobs for, in essence, service companies that we want to track separately by job. And we can do the same thing for this Sam the Guitar Man. We're just going to say for that, we're going to break out a separate job. We're going to track some information that will be particular to that exact job. Hello, in this presentation, we're going to talk about the creation of customer jobs within QuickBooks Pro 2018. If you have been following along with us, we will be continuing along with the Get Great Guitars. If not, that is okay. We're going to show how to set up jobs for customers. If you have the backup file up to this point in time, you can restore that by going to File, Open, and Restore Company. That will get us to the same point in time in terms of the data. We will be entering data, so it is useful if you're following along with the problem to get that data at the same point so that we're all working on the same area. And we have the Home tab open here. I'm going to show where the Home tab is. It's in the Company and Home tab. I also like to have the View Open Items list here, which is in the View tab, Open Windows List. Going to click on that. We see then that we have these windows open. That's what we have at this time. I'm actually going to close a couple of them just to have the one window of the home page. Now we're going to work on creating a job for a customer. Jobs can be useful in many different ways. One of the main ways that we're going to use the job is to apply particular costs to a particular job for a particular customer. So if we have a customer that we are doing multiple jobs for, it could be useful for us to track the individual jobs for a particular customer individually. And then when we create the invoice, we can track the information within the invoice to a particular job. So for example, if we were tracking time, if we had kind of a job cost system, and we were tracking the time that we have and we put in and the people and our staff are putting in, then we would want to track that to a particular customer and possibly to a particular job. And then when we invoice, we can apply that job, that time to that particular job and create the invoice based on it. So that's one of the major functions that creating jobs could use. They're going to be a versatile tool. That's what we're mainly going to be using it for. So let's see how we would set up a job for a customer. First, we're going to go to the Customer Center. So we could go here. I'm going to go to the drop down because it's always an area we can go to no matter where we're at within the program. So we're going to go to Customers, Customer Center. And then here is our Customer Center. We only have a few clients that we will be working with here in order to create jobs for. We're going to create a job for Jones Guitar. So that's going to be right here. In order to create the job, you must first click on Jones Guitar. So we want to be on that particular customer. Once we are, then we can go up to the New Customer and Job item here. Select that drop down. And we can add not a new customer, but a job. When we do so, it will add that new job below the current customer. So we're going to say add new job. And all we're going to do on the new job is add the job number. So we're just going to say this is a job number. It's already related to, as you can see, the company name of Jones Guitars. So really all we want here is the new number 3005. In this case is going to be the number we are going to apply. I'm going to keep the dates. The dates aren't going to affect anything as long as they're before the date that we're actually going to be entering data into. And so then we're going to have Jones Guitar, and I'm not going to fill out any of the further information, just keeping the job here as it relates to our customer, Jones Guitar. Then we're going to go ahead and say OK. And as you can see, we then have the Jones guitar, and then here's going to be the job related to Jones guitar. If we were then to create an invoice, and we wanted to create an invoice for Jones guitar, but specific to that particular job, tracking what we're doing for that particular job, the maintenance on a guitar for that particular job, we would then go to the home. Just for a demonstration, if we went to the create invoice, then rather than typing in Jones, we can type in 3005, there's the job. And if we tab through that, we'll then have it related to the customer of Jones, and that will be the information that we can put in related to the particular job for a particular customer. So I'm going to close this out. We're not going to record this. I'm going to close that out. And we're going to create a couple more jobs here, or at least one more job for another customer. And so we're going to go back to the Customer Center. So here is the Customer Center within the Open Windows tab. And the next one we're going to create is for Sam, the Guitar Man. So I'm going to make this a bit larger so we can see the full name. There is Sam. We need to click on the name. And once we are on the name, we're going to go up to New Customer and Job. And we're going to create not a new customer, but a new add a job. And the job, in this case, all we need is going to be the number, and that number will be, for us, 4002. This is going to be related particularly to that particular customer, and that's all we really need here will be that data, all the other data related to the customer within the customer field. So I'm going to say OK. And there's the job related to Sam, the Guitar Man. And we can then apply any information that we're recording for that customer to a particular job and then build that particular job. So those are going to be the two jobs we're setting up now, just to show how to set up the jobs. We'll be working with invoicing later and show how we can tie an invoice out to a particular job and what that will look like, what the effect will be on that, and what that can do for us in practice.